Dr. Bob Blackburn, as the executive director of the Oklahoma Historical Society for more than 2 decades, transformed the way we learn and thus appreciate our state's colorful history. And as a result, interest in Oklahoma has increased exponentially, as well as an increased focus on the mission of the Oklahoma Historical Society, which begs the question, what is that mission? The mission of the Historical Society is to preserve our history, not so much for us, but for the generations that follow us. How can one person have such a profound impact on the historiography of our great state? There are 3 attributes that best capture the genius of this extraordinary public servant. First of all, Dr. Bob is a gifted teacher. Every year throughout his career with the Historical Society, he traversed our state, some weeks 2 or 3 times, large and small. He captivated the audiences with his verbal pictures of our shared story. But Dr. Bob's gifts were never limited to the spoken word. Dr. Bob's an author. He has written more than 26 books, each one giving us insight into the men, the women, and the events that have shaped Oklahoma. Second, Dr. Bob is a builder. He's the rarest of builders. He is both visionary and he is supremely practical. Dr. Bob's visions became reality. His long-range vision for the improvement and the development of the Historical Society's museums, its collections, and its programs was grounded on a principle of leadership that Dr. Bob describes as collaborative leadership. In doing so, Dr. Bob earned the confidence and thus the trust of his colleagues and elected officials, regardless of political party, regardless of ideology, as well as private donors. Thanks to Dr. Bob, we have such iconic museums as OK Pop right here in Tulsa, which is a work in progress. We have the History Center in Oklahoma City. We have the Route 66 Museum in Clinton, as well as other museums peppered all across the state. And thanks to Dr. Bob, we now have thousands, yes, thousands of invaluable collections. Third, and perhaps above all, Dr. Bob is a devoted family man, as you'll see in the video. And that word family, with all its precious connotations, aptly describes our honoree's level of commitment to all Oklahomans, every Oklahoman, regardless of race or tribe or religion, regardless of gender or ethnicity.
Bob L. Blackburn is the firstborn child to Bob Blackburn Sr., a World War II veteran and Oklahoma Highway Patrolman, and television personality Ida Blackburn, known as Miss Ida on Romper Room and later Ida B on the show named for her. Blackburn grew up in Edmond, graduated from Putnam City High School, and earned his bachelor's degree from Southwestern Oklahoma State University and his master's and doctorate degrees in history from Oklahoma State University. He joined the Oklahoma Historical Society in 1979 as editor of the Chronicles of Oklahoma before being named Deputy Executive Director and Executive Director, a position he held until his retirement in 2021. With more than 30 sites statewide, the OHS system of museums has experienced higher standards and greater efficiencies under his leadership, while the research collections have grown exponentially. Today, through the digital portal Gateway to Oklahoma History, everyone has access to millions of searchable newspapers, photographs, and family records. In 1998, Blackburn, commonly referred to as Dr. Bob, announced plans for a new state museum. Leading the planning efforts, construction, and exhibit acquisitions, the Oklahoma History Center opened to the public in 2005. An affiliate of the Smithsonian and the National Archives, to date, more than 1 million visitors have explored the 215,000 square foot museum and research center. One of his last endeavors with OHS was the planning for and announcement of the Oklahoma Museum of Popular Culture in Tulsa. The state's preeminent historian, Dr. Bob takes great pride in sharing Oklahoma's rich history and heritage. He is the authority for state historical documentaries, as well as a much sought-after keynote speaker. For decades, Dr. Bob has spoken to groups and organizations an average of 85 times per year. He instills in others the importance of understanding all of our history to make the greatest positive impact on the Oklahoma of tomorrow.
We have to make sure that we embrace all of our history and not selective parts that serve our particular purposes at the time. The minute we start taking pieces of this puzzle out, and I call the state as a mosaic, really. Everyone's story, your story, my story, it's a little piece of the mosaic, but once you get more pieces of the mosaic in, the farther away you get, the more clear the picture becomes. The minute you start taking pieces of it out because it's not happy history, and it's not something we're necessarily proud of, but then you can't connect the dots. You start losing the focus on the real story. And then we lose the ability to learn from our history. So in terms of tribal sovereignty today and state relationship, tribal relationship with federal relationship with local governments, if you don't understand the story of the assault on tribal sovereignty, there's no way to understand the resurrection of tribal sovereignty. There's no way to understand today dealing with Americans, Indians' resentment unless you understand the story of their grandparents whose land was taken away because they didn't understand contracts, or they thought that that money for a wagon might make the difference in their children's lives forever, not understanding that really the land was that first opportunity to break the cycle of poverty. They did not have the cultural baggage to make that decision. Without understanding all of that, we can't make good decisions today.
Through partnerships and advocacy, Dr. Bob has lent a helping hand to projects outside the orbit of the OHS, ranging from preservation of the Skirvin Hotel and a redesign of the Zinc Ranch Museum to the rebirth of the Oklahoma Military Academy Museum and the creation of the National Park Service's Battle of the Ouachita National Monument. The author of more than 25 books, the first published while he was still in graduate school, Dr. Bob continues to enjoy research and writing in retirement. His extensive career and deep sense of community have provided him with friendships to last a lifetime. If you ask Dr. Bob what his greatest achievement is, he will tell you it is his family. With wife Debbie, a former teacher, nonprofit CEO, and state legislator, they are proud parents of son Beau and daughter-in-law Tori. And Dr. Bob is thrilled with his new title, Papa, given to him by grandsons Bodhi and Waylon. Educator, historian, and public servant, Dr. Bob L. Blackburn.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor to present Dr. Bob Blackburn for induction into the Oklahoma Hall of Fame.
Thank you, Clark. You're our generous friend and a gifted speaker. I also want to thank the members of the Oklahoma Hall of Fame Selection Committee for an honor I share with the other inductees tonight, as well as with all of the Oklahomans who have been honored since 1927. As a historian, I know we stand on the shoulders of those who came before us. The Oklahoma spirit shined brightly through the words and deeds of Will Rogers, the probing search for truth by Angie Beau, the exploration of new frontiers by Tom Stafford, and the quest for justice by Clara Luper. For more than 40 years, I have been fortunate to learn from and work with a long list of mentors and colleagues. And as each of you know, we rarely achieve deeds on our own. We are strongest when we are part of a community, weakest when we look only for our own self-interest. As I look back on my career, I see people who faced challenges with me, seized opportunities with me, and shared a satisfaction that we accomplished something together. Many of those people are in this room tonight. You know who you are. While others, some gone from this world, are alive in my memories. Last, I want to thank my wife, Debbie, my son, Beau, my sister, Betty, and all of my friends and relatives who are sharing this night with me. I am proud you're a part of my life. Thank you.